The day I became the most hated man in Riverside Meadows was the same day I became its most powerful. $500. That's what Victoria Hargrove and her homeowners association slapped me with for fishing with my grieving daughter. What they didn't know was that I had 4 million reasons to push back, and enough quiet fury to spend every last one. If you're sneaking a peek at this video on your phone in the laundry room, dodging another soul-crushing HOA meeting, drop a comment right now and tell me your hiding spot. I promise, this story will have you hooked from the first word. My name is Ethan Caldwell, and until a few months ago, I was living what most people call the American dream. I'd spent 15 years grinding in venture capital, flipping stakes in hot tech startups until I cashed out big enough to retire at 42. But money can't buy back what really matters. My wife Emily lost her fight with cancer last year, leaving me alone to raise our 14-year-old daughter, Ava. The grief hit us like a freight train. The only thing that eased the ache, even a little, was fishing, the last thing the three of us did together before everything fell apart. And so, when I decided we needed a clean break, I hunted for a house near water, somewhere calm, somewhere we could start healing. Riverside Meadows looked perfect. High-end homes, great schools, and a stunning 6-acre lake right in the heart of the neighborhood. The realtor mentioned an HOA, but brushed it off as just the basics. Grass height, paint colors, nothing major. She paused awkwardly before adding, "The president, Victoria Hargrove, is very committed to protecting property values." I didn't think twice. I'd handled tough egos my whole career. How bad could one suburban power broker be? I learned exactly how bad on a soft Saturday morning in April. Ava and I had been out on the little wooden dock for maybe an hour. It was the first time I'd seen her really smile in months. Her face lit up when she reeled in her second sunfish, giggling as she carefully unhooked it. Then a sharp voice sliced through the quiet. "Excuse me, but what do you think you're doing?" The woman striding toward us was late 50s, dressed in pricey yoga gear, blonde highlights pulled into that classic, "Can I speak to your manager, Bob?" She clutched a tablet like a weapon, her face twisted like we just spray-painted graffiti. "Good morning," I said, forcing calm, offer my hand. "Just fishing with my daughter. I'm Ethan Caldwell. We moved into the Elmwood Lane house a couple months ago." She ignored the handshake, fingers flying over her screen. "Mr. Caldwell, fishing is strictly prohibited on community lake property. This is a direct violation. I'm Victoria Hargrove, HOA president." She said it like she was royalty announcing her title. "I'll be issuing a citation. Fine is $500. I felt Ava tense beside me, her joy evaporating. "There must be a mistake," I said evenly. The realtor highlighted fishing as an amenity. It was part of why we chose this place. Victoria's smile was ice cold. The rule was updated last month. Every resident was notified by email. Ignorance is an excuse. She spun the tablet to show the amendment, dated just 4 weeks earlier. "We never got anything," I said. She shrugged. "I handle all communications personally. Check your spam. I can't babysit everyone's inbox." My jaw clenched, but I stayed cool. "Why the sudden ban?" "The lake's full of fish. You can see bass right there." She glanced at our simple rods and tackle box with obvious disdain. "Environmental and aesthetic concerns. Hooks harm wildlife. We've had complaint about bait smell and unsightly activity, disturbing lakefront views." Her eyes lingered on our gear like it was trash. Something in her tone, the sneer, hit me hard. This wasn't about rules. "We're careful," I said. "Catch and release only, and we always clean up." Her face hardened. "Mr. Caldwell, perhaps you don't grasp how things work in Riverside Meadows. We uphold standards. This isn't some public pond. Long-time residents expect a certain ambience." She looked at Ava, then back at me. "Newcomers sometimes struggle to fit our community culture, especially those more used to different kinds of neighborhoods." The class jab landed like a slap. Rage surged hot and sharp, but then I heard a tiny sniffle. Ava's eyes were brimming. This was supposed to be our sanctuary, the place she'd forget her mom was gone for a few hours. And this woman was shattering it with smug superiority. "We'll go," I said quietly, arm around Ava's shoulders. Email the fine details and updated rules. Victoria's smile turned triumphant. Wise choice. Do read your emails in future. We wouldn't want more misunderstandings. She walked off, sneakers silent on the perfect grass. As we packed up, Ava wiped tears. Dad, why was she so mean? We weren't hurting anyone. My heart cracked. I had no good answer for a kid. Some people love control more than kindness, sweetheart. I managed. Let's grab lunch. That afternoon, digging through every inbox folder and finding zero notice, I started researching the HOA. What I uncovered lit a fire. Victoria Hargrove had ruled as president for 8 straight years. By day, she ran an upscale real estate firm focused on gated communities. Her social media was full of her throwing lavish lake parties, booze, loud music, zero environmental concerns. The real bombshell was buried in the covenants. The lake was common amenity, but not fully HOA-owned. That evening, watching Victoria and friends toasting the gazebo while we nursed fresh wounds, I muttered, "You want to play rules? Fine. But first, who really owns this water?" Next morning, walking past my house, an older guy with a golden retriever stopped to chat. "Harold Jenkins," he said warmly. When I mentioned Victoria, his face darkened. "Ah, you've met our little empress. Let me guess, random fine?" I nodded. He sighed. "She's run this place like her kingdom forever. Most folks just pay and stay quiet. Coffee sometime? I've got stories." His house was lined with law books and old courtroom photos. Over strong coffee, he laid it out. The lake belonged to Apex Development Corp., the original builders. They leased recreational rights to the HOA for 30 years, lease expiring in under 2 months. "That's the key," Harold said. "Apex is hurting financially, quietly selling assets. And Victoria knows it. She's scheming to buy the lake herself through her company, restrict access, build luxury homes on the shore." It explained the fishing ban, clearing the way for her takeover. Harold connected me to Leonard Brooks, a retired black banker in his 60s who'd felt Victoria's bias personally. In Leonard's study, spreadsheets tracked a decade of violations. Minorities cited 3 times more, new residents hammered while old-timers skated, properties forced into cheap sales and flipped by Victoria-linked LLCs. "The lakes are jackpot," Leonard said grimly. "She needs it to survive. Her firm's drowning in debt." My VC instincts kicked in. Distressed asset, desperate seller. Opportunity. We built a quiet alliance. Secret meetings. Shared stories of harassment. A young widow, Sophia Ramirez, described Victoria's inspections leading to bogus fines. A teacher, Paul Ellis, got hit after speaking out. Each tale fueled our resolve. I dug into Victoria's finances. Over-leveraged, desperate. A broker contact confirmed Apex would take cash fast over a financed offer. Timing was everything. Let her commit publicly, then strike. I offered $350,000, all cash, close in days.